Hello, hockey fans. My name is David. Thought I would start this video at 11:46 on the evening of Tuesday, 22nd of November, 2022, North American Eastern Time. This is a continuation from my previous video about the results that have featured Canadian teams. So, thought I would do is mention. So, minutes before I started recording this video, I I watched a video by Justin, put up by the YouTuber Justin Young, who may or may not have a Twitter account. I don't care. That young man, having claimed that the Leafs had poor depth scoring. In other words, scoring from the bottom six forwards. Well, Justin Young's right. I thought it would also be a reminder of an episode late last month from First Up 1050, the morning show broadcast on Toronto sports radio station TSN 1050, with co-host with a clip on the First Up 1050 Twitter page from Carl Koliakovo, a co-host of that show, having claimed that depth scoring had been a serious problem during the regular season for the Leafs. Well, it had been a problem then, and it still is. Not even one of the bottom six forwards put up a point or managed to limit enough of the chances. So Justin Young's claim that, the defense is good for the Leafs, well, sure, allowing 3 goals is better than what the Oilers did with 5. But the problem is the Leafs didn't score enough goals to stay ahead. The Leafs only ever had a 1-goal lead, and that was rather easy to blow. The Canucks blew a 2-goal lead and ended up losing in regulation. But the Leafs had a 1-goal lead. They just need that one more goal. And if they had scored it, that game could have been completely different. And in terms of overtime, yes, it's a crapshoot. At least there's a point available. The problem is, the Tampa Bay Lightning are close to the Leafs. They end up, Lightning did lose in regulation, but only because of that did the Leafs gain even 1 point on the Lightning, or at least, at least widen the lead for second in the Atlantic by 1 point. So now, what I thought I would do is go to the Edmonton Oilers score on Sportsnet. So I was at the game with the Leafs. And so I didn't get to watch. Any of the game, But I kind of know what the highlights were. Vitek Vanecek with just 2 goals allowed on 8 shots. So, just gonna go to the scoring summary for the Oilers. Power play was so just gonna go to there. Wow. So there were, so what did the Oilers, did the Oilers allow a goal against their own power play or penalty kill? No. The Oilers did pretty good on special teams. Well, they ended up getting a power play goal. All right, so the power play, the Oilers, the Oilers did allow a power play goal, did allow a goal against their own PK. So in special teams, things were pretty even. Yeah, it was the first period that was kind of even up. So 2:25 into the first period, it was Jesper Bratt from Nico Hischier and Jack Hughes. Then Leon Draisaitl from Connor McDavid and Evan Bouchard. So those were the only special teams goals, so it was kind of even. So where did the Oilers fall down? I thought what I would do is go to present is the article from Mark Spector of Sportsnet. So I would go to one of my own tweets there, and from Mark Spector of Sportsnet. So, soft game with too many mistakes. The Oilers won't beat a team as good as the Devils. Well, in direct response, said, well, the Leafs had, to the guys there, what's that measure? The Leafs are lucky. I put, so I said Leafs were lucky to not find themselves out of a playoff spot. Unlike the Oilers. It had loads of turnovers. The Locked On Leafs episode covered. To acclaim by Mark Spector of Sportsnet that a repeat of Monday's performance by the Oilers versus Devils wouldn't beat the latter type of team, there had been little doubt. The Leafs' effort wasn't good enough to beat a playoff caliber team. Then again, Leafs have played down to not so good opponents. So what I would do is go to. So what games are going? So what games are going to take place on Wednesday? So there'll be loads of games. It's going to be a struggle to find out. So look at all these games here. Wow. Incredible, isn't it? So it's going to be a crazy night. So Leafs can learn a lot from the Oilers. Like, start on time. I mean, what did the Leafs do? They didn't start on time. Just going to go back to... Excuse me for a second here. I know I was 4 or 5 minutes in the first period. I'm going to look at the scoreboard there. Noah Dobson. The Leafs did finally break through in the second period. They finally did. But it took, in my view, too long to break through. Anything could have happened. So again, what I would do is... So again, I'm going to look at the games that feature Canadian teams, and oh boy, there were a lot. 2, 3, 4, 5, yeah. So we have, 15 games in action. It's going to be incredibly hard to view them all, but I'm going to focus on those that feature Canadian teams. So we have, starting slightly after 7 p.m. Eastern Time, after taking into account pre-game ceremonies, road games by the Leafs, Flames, and Habs and Jets, respectively against the Devils, Penguins, Blue Jackets, and Wild. And then slightly after 7:30 Eastern, we have the Oilers road game against the New York Islanders. The same Islanders squad that only on Monday managed to beat the Leafs by a 1-goal margin. The Oilers are going to have to be prepared. These Islanders are sure going to want to win. And the Oilers are in desperate need of a win of their own, having dropped out of a playoff spot, albeit just slight. So we're going to go to the late games. So we have the Canucks and Senators in playing their own respective games against the Avs and Golden Knights. So slightly after 10 Eastern Time in each case. It's going to be interesting because Denver, home of the Avs, is in the Mountain Time Zone. This is very interesting because, again, it's very interesting. But again, it doesn't come really as any surprise. Excuse me. So, we're going to see what games are on Thursday. Well, there are none. So on Wednesday, it's going to be a crazy number of games. So we have the Leafs, Flames, Habs, Jets, Oilers, Canucks, and Senators. 7 Canadian teams in action. How many of them will manage to get through? Will win? We'll see. But when it comes to the NHL standings, the Jets are 3 points ahead of the St. Louis of the Blues and Preds in the Central, for a top 3 Central Division spot. With the Minnesota Wild, with 18 games played and 18 points, 5 points back. The Hawks and the Coyotes are respectively 8 and 9 points back. So they're fading, but hey. I mean, they are still threats, but not as much of them. The Leafs. So the Leafs have 25 points over 20 games. Close behind by the Lightning. The Lightning close behind with 23 points over 19 games. Then the Red Wings with 22. Panthers with 20. And the Habs with 19. So, with Sabres have 16 points. So, they're kind of fading a little bit here. The goal should be for the Leafs to be a minimum of 10 points ahead, to be in a top 3 divisional spot, and at least 10 points up on the 4th place team. That may not happen for a while, but the Leafs if the Leafs can get there, that will be good. Because the Leafs are sure going to need to do so. That way, Leaf fans can breathe a sigh of relief. But they can't just yet. Because the Leafs are just 3 points up on the Wings for a top 3 Atlantic Division spot. So, Leafs are going to have to get their big guns going. Small guys have to do so too. But again, like what Mark Spector claimed with respect to the Oilers, if the effort ain't there, all right, just gonna see here. So soft game with too many mistakes. The Leafs have to cut down the turnovers, cute plays. It's gotta stop. They gotta stop, because otherwise the Leafs will eventually, I fear, end up like the Oilers, out of a playoff spot, even if only slight. Will this be the season that Kyle Dubas is GM? That Kyle Dubas and Brendan Shanahan see their last respective seasons as GM and president? We shall see. But when it comes to needing to string together wins, there's no doubt the Leafs need to do. So what I would do is going to see if I can get this interesting tweet here from Zach Hyman. And, this is need to string some games together. Well, there's no doubt. Here's on to that former Leaf winger. With respect to the Oilers, it's been rather inconsistent. So, what about So I'm going to go to another interesting so let's see. All right, what did I do here? All right, so let's see from Mark Spector of Sportsnet. The Oilers had not, since beginning of November, strung together a series of wins. That is very problematic for that team, because the team is now, well, out of a playoff spot, albeit slight. So what I would do is go through. I'm going to go to, let's go to here. So to go to the Edmonton Oilers, we're going to see how they've done together, winning consecutive games. All right, so let's look at October. 6 wins and 3 regulation losses. So have the Oilers managed to win games since then? at least more than one at a time? Nope. Will the Oilers need to do so soon? Yep. So what about the Leafs? So I'm going to go to... Alright, I'm going to go to the Leafs and how they've done. So... The Leafs, in October, managed to string together no more than 2 wins in a row. This month, they've managed to string together 3. And then they lost 2 straight, and then they won 2, and they've split wins and losses. Although not since the 11th of November against the Penguins have Leafs managed to lose consecutive game, to, lose in regulation. Will that change? We'll have to see what happens, but at the end of the day, the Leafs are going to have to play better. They got to limit their turnovers. They got to really open up shooting lanes. Forecheck. I like the physicality of that Islanders game. Who would have thought Leafs would rise to that occasion? Where Leafs game didn't go as well was on the scoring. And the depth forwards didn't get the job done. We'll see what happens. But again, Leafs have 5 games to go in November. Let's see how the Leafs do. But if they don't, Leafs could drop down in no time at all. So let's see what happens. So there's going to be this week 3 games to go. Devils, Wild, and Penguins on the road before they end the month with games every other night. The Red Wings next week on Monday, and on Wednesday at home to the San Jose Sharks. Have to see how many of those 10 points Leafs end up getting, but failure to get at least 7 could mean the Leafs drop out of a playoff spot, and if the lack of depth scoring has to do with it, I won't be surprised. Anyway, go Leafs go.